Okay, good morning. There's no one here, but I'm still going to continue. I'm going to do a quick update. We think. Let's firstly have a look at the higher time frame candles. So just hide all of this, and then we can just have a look. All right, let's get rid of the volume. These indicators. We'll keep the 50 moving average. I just want to see how that's looking on every time frame as well. So we'll have a little quick overview of that. On the daily time frame, it's quite flat. See that? It's quite flat. So the momentum is actually, relatively speaking, quite flat on the daily time frame. And as you can see, look, you see the 3-day time frame. Look at this beautiful red candle held the 50 moving average and the 3-day time frame as support, and then you have this kind of impulsive buying off the 53-day moving average. It's quite a powerful kind of thing to see that the price is reacting off that. The last time that happened, we didn't really test it. Never really tested it. So that's like, here we have, look, you see that? You see when we tested it all the way back in March 23, little touch and then explosive move. This is slightly different. We've kind of had to get back above it and hold it, which has happened. So in this context, you obviously don't want to lose that 50 moving average. If you lose it, then it's not trending anymore. And if you don't, then it's trending. So we have to see if the trend continues or if we get some kind of another kind of corrective move like this, and then the 3-day goes flat, or you get some kind of explosive move. Looking at the weekly, again, look, you see how the weekly 50 has offered support here in the past. It's offered support here in the past. It's offered resistance. So it's quite close. It's about 50k right now. I think I'd like to see a touch of it before we have a big explosive move, to be honest with you. But it doesn't have to happen here. It didn't really happen. Here it was more of a kind of like an SR flip there. We're not in that situation at the moment. In this context, an SR flip similar to here would be like that. So we're not there yet, and obviously this was below the all-time highs, whereas here we're kind of trying to get above it. So the context is a little bit different. I do think I'd like to see a touch of that, to be honest with you. So it hasn't happened yet, because that's the trending one, isn't it? That's the trending moving average. The others, they're trending, but they're not like holding the price on the first attack. It's like, and this is flat, the daily's flat. So I think the weekly one for me is the most important one, actually, on the higher time frame, and that's kind of at about 51k at the moment. I think you just buy the 50 moving average. It's quite a strong uptrend on the 50 moving average, and next time it touches, it could be a good buy, in my opinion. Is it a good buy now? Well, I mean, I think we are probably going to the all-time highs. Could you buy that? Yeah, but you'd have to sell. You know, you can't just hold on, hope for higher, because the minute you get into all-time high territory, people will start selling. And so we're at a good place now for the price to reject, but I just don't think we're going to reject. Like, how many attempts are there at this these highs? How many attacks of the highs are we going to have before the price wants to actually? This is the original trend line, to be honest with you. So you're taking the first 2 pivots, and you see these. We had like a little failed auction here, a little failed auction here. You can see clearly that that line has been nicely respected, and look at look at what's happened. We've pierced through it, and now we're back up, we're above it, we're kind of pushing above it. So this is clearly some kind of breakout, but it's a breakout after a pretty long extended run in this move here, and it's definitely not a good place to swing by, but it could, you know, this is still uptrending, and you know, I think I am expecting higher prices. So far so good. Obviously if that changes, then it changes, and I think in this context you can clearly see that a change, an easy to see change would be just, I think, to kind of, for the daily to lose this in the same way it's done in the past, to lose this trend line. You lose that trend line, back test it again, then you're going down again. Okay, so just looking at that, that's quite easy to see. If we see that, then we'll know that this is actually weak. It's not strong, and it's just going to reject. I don't see that at the moment. Okay, so the price could always reject. It could always do that. So you can't, with crypto and Bitcoin, you can't be sure. But I do think we'll probably hit the all-time high. I think we'll probably squeeze up these highs, and then what I want to see is roughly what price we come to before we can really find some resistance. Otherwise, you know, there was some selling, but it kind of came to nothing. You can see here you're getting higher lows. See that? Higher lows. And the higher low idea is holding. You can see all the wicks are higher lows. This was a higher low. These are all higher lows, higher lows. You're getting higher lows on all of this, all of the bottom of these wicks. You see that? All of them are higher lows. Okay, so that idea of higher lows continuing, and it just means that people, the selling can't push the price down below a lower to make a lower low. And this was, in a sense, this, you could argue this was a lower low here. There's a swing failure, but actually on the, in context, it was a higher low because it couldn't get below this higher low here, basically that green wick. You see where that price was bought up, couldn't get below it. It's a higher low. So we've got that higher low idea that hasn't changed, and obviously that's going to be something to look forward to see if there's a change where suddenly you're not making higher lows anymore, and the lows are actually starting to get lower, and the highs then will start to get lower too. So we're not there. It's still looking really bullish. A couple of days ago I was thinking long, and then it kind of kept on going down. Then I was thinking, okay, this is not good, it's correcting, so just short. And basically after X amount of time, the shorting came to an end. It effectively did what I kind of was inclined to think. I was thinking probably it will come down to here. It actually did it quite quickly, and then it tried to get back down and it couldn't, and it just rounded off. So here you can see we're making higher lows, and then right back above into the highs. Okay, so now we're getting a little bit of profit take. It's still range bound. This looks quite impulsive. It's still range bound here. I think we're looking at more of a kind of, potentially we're looking at a bit of a kind of flat correction potentially. I don't think this is impulsive. I think this is corrective still, and we might come back down, you know, and we might be kind of just doing that, just dips, the lows are getting higher, the highs are getting higher, and you're effectively you're grinding up. Yeah, that being said, it could, once it gets past this point, you could get a bit of a rise, a fast rise. So let me just have a look at that. Let me see that pivot. How far are we? Okay, so let me get past above. I think we get above that pivot. This one here. We'll probably get to the all-time high very quickly. That would just be a snap up, I think, because you came down quite fast, and that's the last line of resistance. There's a little SR flip there on that pivot. like, I'd be interested to see if we can funnel up higher lows, push into that SR flip, and then kind of squeeze up in this kind of upward channel. That's what I'm kind of thinking at the moment. Kind of range bound, but actually the lows are still getting higher, the highs are still getting higher until we can eventually squeeze up past this SR flip. And then the other thing that's interesting is that the previous all-time high is here as well somewhere. There it is. So actually I'd be interested to see if that holds a support in the first instance. If not, then we're just going to be trading through it until finally the price can find support. We do these volume profiles here and here. Let's see if there's any. So look, you see that the price held on the point of control. Got a nice reaction, and now we're above the value area, which is above the previous all-time high. In this context, has to hold the support. But it's also possible that you kind of push down and then to go up. Just continuing this higher low idea. We'll have to see. It may not. It may, if it's depending on how bullish it is, it could just hold there. And so we have to see. And obviously, you also have to bear in mind that even though I've got this as a kind of some kind of rising wedge, which potentially could break to the upside, it's always possible that you can't get above the previous all-time high. You break down, just come back to the lows again, you know, and you actually have to, there's not enough liquidity. You still make higher lows, but the higher low idea is actually carries from here. And so there's not enough push right now to take it up. So you have to be aware of that. I think it'd be hard to buy this because if it starts to drop now, it'll start to look like a topping pattern. So actually, I'm more inclined for bullish continuation to just for these lows to just carry on. I think that would be what I want to see for bullish. If I don't see that, then I really have to be a little bit more wary. Because obviously the continuation has ended and we're in a more of a kind of consolidation period. The other line that I have in my mind is that trend line that I drew. Let me look at this yellow line here. Okay, so I do think we'll come back to test it one more time. 1, 2, that was the last time. 3, that was the big bounce. I'm not sure when. I wonder if we do come and test it again after we push up. And 50 moving average again now. I mean, this could be quite impulsive. This could be the beginning of an impulse. It really could. Could the correction be over? Yeah, that could be end of correction. It's always it's guesswork, isn't it? So it's not easy to. So effectively, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you have a correction potentially here. It was really hard to draw this out, so I myself struggled. Is it possible that was it? It's possible. Is that impulsive? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little correction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not great, huh? It's not amazing, but we'll have to see what happens now. Does it impulse up or does it come right back down? There is the potential of 5 waves here. One. And if this continues and we get another push up, then you don't want you want the previous all-time high to offer support, because that would be the top of the one. So it has to do that then. Okay. But that being said, I wouldn't mind us to hit that line, but let's see. So I kind of have, potentially we are in a little bit of a impulsive continuation. If that is true, excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry. Hay fever season. What was that line I had again? I think I've lost it. What was that previous pivot? I'm not sure. I'm actually really not sure. It doesn't really line up with anything. So I do wonder if this is still corrective and we're not impulsing yet. It looks impulsive, huh? I am wondering if this is actually more of a higher time frame correction. I'm not 100%, so I don't really know. Do we go down again? I don't know. That could make sense. I think it could make sense to come back down here on Wednesday. Wednesday is the FOMC, so we have a nice kind of trend line to to test, and maybe we attack the lows again potentially. If this is, I'm wondering if we're still correcting. Actually, we'll see. We'll see now, because potentially we've had 5 waves in this mini push up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little ABC here, and another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So potentially we've had, technically in this context, that line has to hold for this to be correct, and if not, then something like that. I think that would make sense to me, because usually the impulses come from the lows, and usually they follow big sell-offs, like people dumping into the right place for where the impulse begins. So do we have that here? I'm not sure. I don't feel that we had like crazy selling yesterday before the price kind of started to move up. So I almost think that maybe we do need a little bit of a crazy sell-off. Another one, like followed by some kind of impulsive price action. So I'm not 100%. I don't know really. Definitely something like that, wouldn't it? Take out that lower. But actually you're just coming in. That would be Tuesday. So I'm not fond of that. I think maybe the FOMC would be better. During Wednesday, I don't know. That would be over here. That would be FOMC would be over here. I don't know. I think I'd like to see this bottom line test for a real kind of impulsive, explosive move. I'm not quite sure that this is it, to be honest with you. I'm not sure. But there are some impulsive waves here, so I'm not 100%. All right, so we'll see. The question now is, does the price for impulse continuation, or are we correcting and is this just another corrective move? We fall back underneath the previous all-time high. I think that will be like you start falling back underneath the previous all-time high and then you find a little bit of resistance, then probably correcting right back down again. Okay, so I think that's a key line in the sand. You could always lose it and reclaim it. In this context, there's like one wave here, a third wave, maybe a fifth wave. That will be the next wave. Potentially it'll be a smaller three, 1, 2, 3. Then you're looking for a 4 to back test here again for the last wave, which is a 5. So there's two potential possibilities here. We're still correcting, or we're gonna have another impulsive move. I'm not 100%. I don't know. Okay, I tend to think we're going up, but I don't know how we're going to get up. I don't know if we go down to go up. I don't know if we just hold here to go up. Okay, so I'm not sure. But both are viable in terms of Elliott waves. I don't really like this trend-based fib extension. It's just an arbitrary number at 76,78687. I can't really tell why that's coming there. Is there any levels there? No. And you see here we're into the weekly level now. We're finding a little bit of resistance into the weekly level. It's a big level, and also we have a couple of big gaps as well, single prints higher up. So let me just pull those. Yeah, you see that we're finding resistance into the single prints. You see that? Perfect. That's a perfect. So potentially the price should reject here, potentially. A little bit of reversal pattern here as well already. Look. Trying to form a little reversal pattern here, potentially. Look. Now the market buying is getting lower. Isn't it? Get another 1 hour green candle with a wick lower. Then it's like that, isn't it? Potentially. That being said, you're not, look, these are higher highs. Look, see, higher high, higher high. So we are putting in higher highs. I'd like to see where the next hour green, hour wick comes to see if this is actually looking to reverse. If it does reverse, then correction continues, and we're probably looking at some kind of extended flat correction. So I wouldn't be surprised if we start going down, then we do have something like this. Nice extended flat, and then you have your trend line, your wave 5 trend line, like something like that. For me, works quite nice. Potentially you're going from so he hasn't even reached the fib level. Maybe this one, we'll see that one. Just So the no, no, not really. It hasn't really reached any fibs. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I would have liked to have seen it hit a fib level. Hasn't done that. Right now, we're trying to decide whether we hold that pivot or not. And obviously, the previous all-time high is important. Good morning, David, and JON Games 253. I would like this, sir. I'd like this. Just come right down. Come right down. Clear out all of this leverage liquidity. Take out these lows. And then impulse. Like really shake people up a bit. Mm-hmm. 50%. Look, 50%. Take out the low. I'm not 100%. I really am not. I have no idea. Actually, I'm not that confident. But I don't know if I would mind us to come down here to test this value area low one more time. Fail up here. Get bearish. Go all the way down. Test the value area low. Take out the liquidity or put in a higher low. It doesn't matter. Test this trend line and then impulse that way for the next wave. I think that in my mind this makes a lot more sense than just to continue now. But you know, who knows? I'm not going to chase this. I'd rather wait for this if this was to happen, and then I'll be looking to buy that in that circumstance. 66k, no chance. Of course there's a chance. Yeah, Bitcoin doesn't work like that. Bitcoin's got nothing, has no news, doesn't really make much difference to Bitcoin. It's the market and its liquidity and its volume, and it's just all about those dynamics. I don't think news really matters. Eventually you're going to get to market exhaustion, where market buying exhausts, where it stops, and then people are going to be looking to take profit, and they're going to use market sell orders to take profit, and the price is going to come back down. It's really got nothing to do with the news. If the price is overextended or overbought, it finally exhausts and then it goes into sell mode, you know, and you get these waves. So even this, I am looking at like a harmonic here, to be honest with you. And so in my mind, it's more likely we go down now to test the lows, but not to say that we can't go up if the price holds the previous all-time high as support and the price now just consolidates here. So that's kind of the difference, isn't it? You want to see if the price can hold here and consolidate, or if the price loses the previous all-time high and starts to fall right back down. Regardless, the long opportunity is here. Yeah, not here, not up here. That's the point. Yeah, I'm not looking to long up here. For continuation, am I looking to long down here in the pullback for the test at the lows? That's my mentality. So right here, I'd actually be more interested in shorting. If you see a rejection, I'd be looking to short to take it right down. And if it squeezes up, then it squeezes up. Then it's no big deal. You know, you had to try it shorting, it didn't work. Low risk, high reward. That's kind of my mentality here. But obviously you're counter trending. Shorting here would be a counter trending move. It would be better to wait for the price to fall back into the value area. You can fall back into the value area, then yeah, I think that would be a really easy short right down to the value area low, right down to my target here. Okay, so I'll be looking for a short. I can see some signs of reversal. Okay, so that's kind of why I'm a little bit interested in potentially a reversal here. I can see the market buying is getting lower now. You see there's a little reversal here happening. I can see that's happening on every time frame. You see 30-minute time frame. You can see there's a little reversal in play at the moment. And we have to look, this is a 1 hour time frame. You can kind of see there's a little bit of a reversal happening. So I think you shouldn't just assume, like, even though I've posted the, you know, all-time high soon or whatever in my clickbait on my image, the reality is why up, why not down? Yeah, just because everyone is bullish and everyone wants it to go up, why not go down? You know, and that's kind of my thought process. I'd rather plan the next move after a pullback than to try and hope that it pumps and get people buying at the highs, when actually by now anyone who's in a long should have taken profit. If you haven't taken profit, I'm not saying take crazy amounts of profit. I'm just saying you should have taken some profit here at the very least. Yeah, if no one's taken profit by now and they've been in longs since I told them to be in longs, then they're mad. They're literally mad. Okay. You should take profits, because if you do get a pullback, then you can add your profits back in. You know, you can compound. We're into the weekly level. We're into single prints. Yeah, it's a good place to take profit. Into resistance. So the harmonic that I was thinking about here, David, what do you think? It would be like this, wouldn't it? Something like that. It's a bullish harmonic. And let me just pull out my harmonics image. Let me just get rid of my EW stuff. I don't think it matters now. Oh, wrong one. Cipher, huh? Is that cipher? Potentially come down from the X to the A, from the X to the A to the B, X to the A to the B, higher C. We're in the higher C now, and take it all the way down to the D. See that underneath the B? That's basically your target. Take out that low, and potentially not that wick. Okay, so I don't know. This wick could be a little bit of a shit wick. I don't know. Who knows, really? Potentially you take out the wick too. That looks right to me. And based on time, if I do fib time on this, let me just clear these brush strokes again, because it doesn't. Again, trading the C is a speculative trade. The D is the real trade. You're waiting for the D, yeah? So even though the C is a very profitable trade, if it works, it's not a high chance of working. It's like whatever the chance is, it's not crazy high, because, you know, the price could, we're still on support levels. We're still into, you know, we've cleared a lot of support levels, and you'd have to lose them again to get right back down. So that already in itself is no easy task. That being said, if it plays out and you end up kind of here or even lower, it doesn't really matter. But I think the 50% would be correct, because it's the value area low of this kind of impulsive volume area, and it also corresponds with that trend line that I had in my wave 5 analysis here. So I like that idea, and potentially that would look correct, wouldn't it? It looks like it could be correct. So let me just do it from pivot to pivot. Yeah, so you see this is Tuesday morning, huh? Tuesday morning. That's the 1.618. If it's a little bit earlier, it depends on if we do really start to fall. But, you know, you could be like this evening on the 1-to-1, and that would be perfectly acceptable as well. That would look, I like the way that looks on the 1.618, just because these lines are parallel, but I don't know. They're just different kinds of time pivots for this. Let me do it differently. Yeah, 1-to-1 on that. That's fine. I think probably by Tuesday, 8 a.m., if we can land here, I think that would be a pretty good trade, a pretty good long. Okay, so that's the conditions of this long. It would be coming here, arriving here on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. So taking out this pivot here and hitting this trend line here as well, and also completing this harmonic, getting people really bearish, and actually that's where the impulse really begins. So that's kind of what I've got in my mind. Let me have a look at these comments. Gianna Games, I found you when I was looking for travel, TRVL. I was researching all RWA coins. Thank you. There's no chance Bitcoin goes to 66k, brother. I don't know. We'll see. But my boy Trump is going to keep shilling my coin. Yeah. Oh, my bad. You're a trader. I only look higher time frame. I bought at 10 July last year. Well done. Odin Bell saying even after Trump and Elon and the speech, RFK hasn't really reached all-time high again. Yeah, it could definitely play out. I don't look at 1 hour though. Only long term. I took. All right. Yeah, I'm going to talk about TRVL. All right. You're absolutely right. I'm only looking at the 1 hour. I'm just giving people kind of commentary on intraday price action too, because people are interested to see how the price is moving. It's just live commentary. I do like this pattern, to be honest with you. So, David, let's set an alert for this pivot. Let's see if we can long it, and maybe if we can get back into the value area here, lose the point previous all-time, maybe that's going to be a good place to start shorting. Yeah. I don't know if, I mean, now is speculative, but if you get back into the value area, then that's not going to be speculative anymore. That's going to be a weakness. That's going to be weakness, isn't it? What did I want to do? Oh yeah, set an alert. Let me just set an alert here for myself. Add alert on horizontal gray. Look for reaction completion of cipher harmonic. So I've created an alert. If the price comes underneath this, my point of interest, I'll get an alert. If it matches up with my fib time, i.e. tomorrow in the morning, then I'll be interested to take a long trade here, looking for a reversal pattern in this area of interest at the 50 fib. That's kind of what I'll be looking for if that happens, right? So that's just something that I'm interested in. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. Like, I won't be taking a long if it doesn't happen. All right. Looking at the higher time frame. So in answer to your analysis, JRNA Games, all right, let's have a look at the higher time frame analysis. Let's quickly have a look at the higher time frame. I'll start by looking at the candles. Let me just hide all of this. What I will do actually is I will put all of this into a little group. Cipher. Hide that, get rid of these brush strokes, and get rid of that. Perfect. What else do we get rid of? We'll get rid of this. Okay. Slerf, sir, I'm from Indonesia. Well, I'm going to look at Slerf now too. Don't worry. Well, it's a really bullish monthly reaction from the lows. We have a monthly swing failure of the whole range of 2 monthly lows, we're pushing into the highs. We haven't had a reaction yet, a proper reaction. So we're coming into sell territory, the top of the range effectively. I'd like to see how this monthly candle closes. It closes in 2 days. Yeah. It's a tricky one because if you end up with a lower close, that's not going to look bullish, is it? It's not going to look bullish. Okay. On the monthly time frame, it will look like you're just closing at the top of the range. Yeah. And then obviously the next thing the price will want to do is go down to the bottom of the range. That's what's happening. That's what's been happening in this monthly range. It's been ranging from top to bottom to top to bottom to top to bottom. Now, sometimes you get selling tails in the top, so people are selling into that, and at the bottom, obviously, you're getting buying tails too, so people are buying into the low. So effectively, we're range bound. We have been for 5 months right now, range bound, and we're still range bound. So even if we attack the all-time high, there's no reason to think that people aren't going to sell into that. Okay, so you got really bullish candle. Look at this weekly candle. I would have thought red was better in this context. It's actually green. Okay, so I don't really like that it's green and not red. Let me just check to see what the color is like on other exchanges. Look at Binance. What's it like on Binance? It's green as well on Binance. Let's see what it's like on the index. Again, the index is showing green. I don't really like that, to be honest with you. I prefer to buy red candles, not green ones. So you can clearly see that it's still impulsing. We haven't. This is still impulsive. The whole thing is still impulsive. I'd like to see a reds weekly here now. That would, I think that would be confirmation of the next move, to have like a red weekly here. Yeah. The month is about to close. New month. Do we go up and come right back down? You see, you have to bear that in mind. Wherever we close the next month could easily go up and then go right back down and just clear the liquidity from the highs. There's no reason to think that this is just going to continue. Like, I don't know if people think this is just going to go up. I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking we go to the all-time high, take it out, and then fall right back down. I do like that Wyckoff distribution, to be honest with you, because it does kind of look like we're following that a little bit. That's the AR, BC, PSY. We've had the ST. This is the sign of weakness in phase B. We're getting a 5-wave move all the way up to the UT. The UT is actually going to take us into all-time high territory there, isn't it? Yeah. Then you're right back into the range. And then you have a prolonged downtrend. It's very gentle according to this. So effectively your UT, you have an ABC down, another ABC, another ABC, like that. Like 3 ABCs for the last kind of impulsive up. However high that gets, and then you have your kind of and then you're right back down, and then you're down, and you're down, and you're down. So that's a Wyckoff distribution pattern. It's actually in play at the moment, so you just have to bear that in mind. Yeah. So don't. It's not smart to get too greedy if this is playing out, and if you see that we get into higher levels. I'm thinking 74, but you know, who knows? We'll see. Maybe it can go a little bit higher. I'm going to spend some time, not right now, to try and pick out the high, but somewhere there. Yeah, you can send me your link. You're going to have to, let me just temporarily make you a moderator. And then you can send the link here. So I've just made you a moderator. Just send the link here and then I'll undo that. Okay, because you can't send links if you're not moderated. All right. So we have a lot of things going on. Altcoins are looking really good. So let me have a look at TRVL. Also, when Jay on our games sends me his link, I'll have a look at that as well. Why am I so bullish on TRVL all of a sudden? Do I know something new? Oh, here's the link. Let me just have a look at it. Let me just put it here. Potential bottom, long-term monthly outlook, and DCA strat. Nice. It's a nice chart. So you had this from July 22, okay? And you've got a rounding top going all the way up to, or diminishing top curve, regressive curve, whatever you call that. I don't know what you call it, to about 109, 110K, thereabouts, somewhere in that region. Yeah, why not? Perfect. I agree. I don't disagree with you, honestly. I'm not really focused on the crazy higher time frame because we're all in the bull market. We are expecting higher prices. It could top out at press arrow. Do I press the arrow? This arrow? Which arrow? This arrow? Nope. Oh, that's out. Oh, okay, perfect. All right, well done. So you have this other line. $125. December, Feb. I don't disagree with you. So I think on the higher time frame, there's no reason why you shouldn't just keep on accumulating Bitcoin because I think we're heading higher. I don't disagree with anything you're saying. My commentary is primarily on just price action on a day-to-day and a week-to-week. And it's more commentary than anything else. I'm not really suggesting that people buy or sell Bitcoin. I just kind of comment on what I think the price could do, and then people can use that to analyze, to form their own analysis. Like I was saying that we're having a little bit of a reversal here. You can already see that the price is trying to pull back. It's starting to pull back now. I'm not in a short. I could have shorted. I'm not in a short. I think if we lose the value area, I'll be looking to short this, and I'll be seeing if I can trade my harmonic idea that I had. But that's it really. On a higher time frame, I'm potentially looking at a Wyckoff distribution, and also on my Twitter last week. I didn't do many videos last week because I was quite busy with some other things, but I did post on my Twitter, and basically I gave people the perfect entry effectively without really doing too much analysis. I could easily see that there was a V-shaped recovery testing the neckline, and that was the perfect entry really, wasn't it? Because after you had that entry, what happened on Bitcoin is you had, it's here, isn't it? So just hide that. It was basically what was it? It's there, isn't it? It's a V shape back test of the neckline. That was the neckline. As it was coming down, I said this is the test, and then we had a really explosive eruption after that test. So yeah, so I do post stuff. I don't know, I mean, it's all, everyone has to make their own decisions, and it's all, you have to have good risk management. And I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just telling people what I see, and if people like that, then they can utilize that. At the moment, I think potentially we could pull back again. That's all. I don't know if we've been here long enough. I don't think the impulse, I think this could could be early longs pushing the price up. The week is printed. Look, the week is printed. It looks quite bullish. Huh? I don't know why we don't back test the weekly open, punish the early longs for another push. You know, like usually early shorts, early longs, late shorts, late longs get punished. So I don't know why we don't punish the early longs. Okay, that's all. All right, that is Bitcoin. Unless there's any other questions, that's Bitcoin. TRVL. Well, TRVL I think is really starting to look. Hold on a second. What am I thinking about TRVL? Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think TRVL is looking really good now. Yeah. And I actually bought this morning, early this morning. This is the first time I bought TRVL in a long time. Okay. And why did I buy? I just want to give you the reasons why I bought. For the first time in a long time, I bought TRVL again today. And I didn't buy a small amount. Well, look, we've come into the point of control. This is Bybit. I'm using, this is KuCoin actually. Sorry, this is KuCoin. Let me have a look at Bybit as well. So let me just have a look at KuCoin and Bybit. And they're basically the most volume exchanges. You see, on Bybit, we're underneath the point of control, and KuCoin, we're on top of the point of control. Okay, so there's a little bit of divergence in the exchanges. I prefer Bybit, so actually I can see that there's a slight divergence. In KuCoin, we're above the point of control. On Bybit, we're underneath it. Let me have a look at the other exchanges. And just because I bought it doesn't mean the price can't go back, can't continue going down. You see here, this is Gates. Let me just get rid of these brush strokes. See, we came above the point of control. On Gate, you see we've come above and we've back tested the point of control, held it as support. So I kind of wanted to see that. We saw that on Gate and on MEX. Let me have a look at MEXC. See, on MEXC, it's doing the same thing. Back above the point of control, back testing at support. On KuCoin, we're seeing the same thing. Back above the point of control, back testing. That red candle on the weekly time frame is a back test for me. This is back testing it as support. So actually, this is you have an invalidate. I have an invalidation. The other thing that I'm seeing on the only thing that kind of is a slightly different is that on Bybit we're still underneath the point of control. So it's the only kind of divergence here. So it's not 100%. I do like that these red weekly wicks are making higher lows. Yeah, so that's the kind of first thing I wanted to see as well. I wanted to see that the higher time frame we start putting some higher lows, and we're starting to put higher lows now. We had our bullish impulsive move buy up, and then that was the take. This red candle here is the take profit. So effectively, people have taken profit, and this red weekly candle has put in a higher low. So I like that. I like that kind of idea that on the weekly time frame we're starting to put higher lows now. And after a big buy up, the selling has only managed to put in a higher low. So I like that. And the pattern that I follow is to see a higher red wicks, kind of like that. So potentially there's a reversal. I think the low could be in potentially, but I mean, who knows? Because I could say the low is in and the price could go up, reject, and continue going down. So just because I say potentially the low could be in, just because the price goes up, it doesn't mean the low is in. The price eventually will have to come back down to retest the same area, probably. Even if it goes up, people will take profit. The price will come back down. You have to see if there's enough interest to hold a higher low for continuation. Otherwise, it will just continue this idea, which is the whole move is like down, up, down. You know, so you have to be aware of the possibilities. That being said, the price is on top on 3 exchanges. The price is holding support on the point of control, so that's naturally what you want to see. You want to see the point of control hold as support. And so I'm starting to see that with higher lows, and that gives me confidence to buy. So I bought. Okay, so I bought this morning. I didn't buy limit orders. I just impulsed. I just market bought. Yeah. So where is it? It's on Bybit, really. Look here. This is my candle this morning. 6 a.m. Just market bought. Bam. No hesitation. Just didn't even think about it. Just market bought. And so naturally you see the price is starting to go up. That also, I did that also knowing that altcoins were starting to find support too. So obviously I'm not just looking at TRVL. I was looking at Slerf from last night. I was in a long position and I could see that the price is moving up. So you see, when you see the whole altcoin markets, when you see all the altcoins that you're interested in starting to move up, then I see that TRVL hasn't moved yet. So, and it's at a good position. So naturally I was looking to buy, and I did that. Potentially this could be it. You know, we're starting to see signs of reversal here on the weekly time frame. We're getting higher red candles, higher lows. We had our initial bullish green candle impulse. That's what gets you interested, isn't it? To see one bullish impulsive candle like that. Yeah, that got me interested. And that's kind of what I was waiting for. I was waiting for the pullback after the first kind of bullish impulsive candle, which is what I got. Okay, by the pullback after the first bullish impulse. And maybe we go up, maybe we don't, but at the very least that was the right place. So this is the right place to potentially buy. Looking at the monthly time frame, look at that monthly time frame. It doesn't look like this for me. Looks quite good. Looks quite good that we've come right back above the previous month low. The price has gone down, finding support into this monthly order block. Yeah, all the way down to the value area low, and now we're getting the price is finding support. Look at the volume, increasing volume. The price has basically gone nowhere. So this is quite bullish. Yeah, this is actually quite bullish to see the increasing volume and the price is stuck. Okay, so obviously the next thing you want is market buying, but potentially it's kind of doing what I was imagining, which is, that's why I'm imagining a rounding bottom at the moment. I'm not thinking invest in the head and shoulders, even though it looks like it. At the moment, I'm just thinking a bog standard higher time frame rounding bottom. So I'd like to see what happens over the next couple of months, and I would like to see the price get right back into the highs again, back into 9 cents. That, if you start getting higher lows and the price is right back into the 9 cents neckline for another test, that's actually quite a bullish idea, because you're getting higher lows and you're testing the same neckline again. Eventually 9 cents will break if you keep on testing it enough times, because eventually the selling will stop. Yeah, you get selling, maybe more selling, higher low, and then maybe eventually you'll just break through the selling. Yeah, so that's what seems to be happening right now. It seems to be that we're trying to put higher time frame, higher lows, and potentially we're going to go right back up to 9 cents to test it. Regardless of whether we go up today, tomorrow, next week, next month, whenever, the reality is that we still need to get back above 5.5 cents. So that doesn't, nothing changes when it comes to what needs to happen at 5.5 cents. So you just always have to be aware of that. That's not correct. Why have I got a cup in hand there? Let me find it. 5.5 cents. So I've got this higher time frame fib with the 236 coming at the value area high of this overall range. Yeah, so it's quite a strong resistance. Yeah, when you look at the price, the charts, you've got the value area high, and you've got this higher time frame fib at 2.3 at 5.56 cents here. That's the top of the range. Whatever happens, we need to flip that into support. Otherwise, you could go up, reject, and potentially head right back down to the lows, potentially. So just have to bear that in mind. So even though I think potentially we could be forming a bottom here, and on the higher time frame, it looks like it could be a big, a massive bottom. Yeah. Confirmation in the first instance would be to flip this value area back into support, like, and with a back test on a higher time frame. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. So I think people will sell into 5.5, but I do also see that there's not much liquidity here. So you see how the red candle went up, cleared the liquidity from this green candle completely. So even if we do go up, you might get some selling, but there isn't really much liquidity there. So if it's quite impulsive, it will push through, and you're looking at the next target will be the weekly level here at 7.2 cents. So this is kind of what I'm looking at right now. I think this is bullish because remember on Bybit, the point of control was in the highs for a short period of time there. See, now the point of control is flipped right back into the lows. Even though on Bybit, the point of control is slightly higher than the other exchanges, they're roughly in the same area. This is 3.4 cents. The others are, I think, 3.3 cents or 3.2 cents. So that's there is some kind of match between the different exchanges. All right. And the other thing to report is that I've been having conversations with the Dtravel team. I've had conversations with Eric twice, Friday and yesterday. And they're having internal conversations about the future, about the token price. And so the conversations that I've been having over the last couple of weeks with different people in the Dtravel community and with Dtravel themselves and other people has been the token price. And so while I don't have a problem in pullbacks, I think if we would have held, I've said this before, if we would have held 5.5 cents as support here, and now that Bitcoin is starting to show extreme, really amazing strength, then it would be nice. It would have been nice to have been able to launch from a higher price. That hasn't happened. And so naturally we weren't able to hold support. The price has fallen through. And so for me, that's a concern. And so all I'm doing is highlighting concerns, because obviously what needs to happen in the future is we need to be able to defend key SR flips. That defense has to be coordinated between Dtravel, investors, etc. You know, like we have to have a little bit of a coordination here. So I'm just highlighting that it would be better if certain things were slightly different. And then I think the biggest concern that the community has had is uncertainty. Uncertainty has been unwittingly caused or created by Dtravel. Yeah, so on 2 occasions there was big uncertainty. The first one was back in January and February. It was about the tokenomics document that was being delayed, and so we were promised changes, and that didn't come immediately. We were waiting all the way through till March before finally the documents were released. That created a long period of uncertainty. The uncertainty is the lack of information when people are expecting it, and so that inadvertently creates uncertainty in people, and that has an impact on the markets. Yeah. In this down move, again, I feel like there was a little bit of uncertainty. Okay, I don't think it was just Bitcoin. I just think people were just a little bit impatient because they were waiting for certain things to happen and they were being delayed. And communications dispels uncertainty, and so I think the communication has been could be improved. And the communication that I'm talking about is, well, if you're going to be delayed, tell the people by how much, tell the people why, and give the people a new updated timeline so that people don't feel like they have to wait without knowing. So waiting without knowing the end causes uncertainty, and when people become uncertain in crypto, they sell. Yeah, so it's the same when you see the price dropping and you see no end to the selling. That causes uncertainty, and that has a compounding impact on the way people buy and sell. So that is impact. That's also impacted by the way I think Dtravel have been communicating. And so naturally, what I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure that all of those uncertainty, fears, and etc. are dispelled. That really comes down to letting the community know exactly what's happening, when it's happening, what the deadlines are, what the plans are like. I don't know if you realize this, but they're working hard to get on a tier 1 exchange launch within the next 6 months. Really hard. Like, that's in their plan. So announce it. Get the people interested. Tell them what they're doing. Tell the people, tell the community what's happening, what's going on, what their plans are. Yeah, don't just keep it quiet and then suddenly release this big announcement, which has really no impact. Yeah, so we've had some big announcements in the past. They really had no impact on the token price, mainly because there's no hype, there's no lead up, there's no build up to the hype, there's no build up to the news, and so naturally there's no audience, and there's no reaction. And so we've had some big announcements with Matic, we've had some big announcements with some other things. Even this week we had a big announcement. It was just like, I don't think anyone, I didn't even notice it, to be honest with you. And it was like, and it's because it's unexpected, and that kind of doesn't help, because people, again, they're always caught off guard, and I don't think investors like that. See, look, in case you missed it, we also joined, you see, in case you missed it, well, I did miss it. We also joined EA ERC on the X Spaces alongside Genesis AI to discuss the impact of DIM. And that's the problem, is it? People are missing it. And so I do feel that the whole thing could be improved. I think it's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but I really think the whole thing could be improved. And so you have to create anticipation. You have to build up to big events. You have to get the community excited. There's a lot of things that have to happen. I think there's real weakness here, which is an opportunity for us investors, because we're catching it before these problems get fixed. The point is that we have to fix these problems. Yeah, I'm doing my utmost to address these issues as far as I can, as an ambassador or representative or whatever of the community. But it's not going to be me. It's going to be everyone. Everyone has to participate. If you see weaknesses in the way the project is doing certain things, it's definitely everyone's kind of responsibility as an investor to give your 2 cents feedback in the Telegram group. There's no reason why anyone here, if you agree with me, or if you have your own ideas about how we can get to higher prices. And I think what people don't realize is that with these small startup tokens, that there is a little bit of coordinated buying and press releases and news events to get the token out of the lows and get it onto the scene. I don't think people realize that. They think that it's just the market doing its thing. I don't think so. I think to some degree there is a little bit of manipulation in how the price of certain tokens get out of the lows, and we can't be naive, and so we have to be fully aware of how we're going to achieve that. The other thing is that there's not enough liquidity, and so naturally, if people want to sell, they struggle to sell without moving the price. That needs to be addressed. I think the biggest way that that's going to be resolved will be with a tier 1 exchange launch. And so Slerf had a tier 1 exchange launch. Slerf got launched on OKX last week. Yeah, I didn't even know about it. It just happened. Yeah, and so just having a quick look at Slerf as well, just so you see what I'm talking about. Look at this green candle. Look at the volume that comes in. Look how that has a massive impact on the price action. You see that? So multi-week, multiple day consolidation, but it's very bullish, isn't it? And that's an exchange launch. That's kind of what we need. You see, in that one exchange launch, the price of Slerf has already taken out the lower high on a daily time frame to make a higher high. So Slerf is already ready to change market structure if Slerf is able to take out that daily high, and that was because of an exchange launch. So exchange launches are really important. If we can get onto a tier 1, that's going to be a game changer. And I told the community, the team, I told Eric, tell the community, let them know what's going on. You know, why don't you want your investors to know what's going on when it's happening? Let them get rich. Let people buy and time it right and make money, you know, because anyone who's in TRVL deserves it, you know, because we're right at the beginning, and you know, we've been faithful and we haven't sold. Like, I haven't sold. I think people who haven't sold need to be rewarded, because fundamentally we're the ones that are preventing the price from dropping because we're not selling. So there's a few things that need to be addressed, and I'm addressing them. Journal Games saying, what's the incentive for people to hodl the token? So there are some changes coming. I think it's happening in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Yeah, I think Dtravel are about to announce something to do with their Traveler app and the so that's the Traveler app. It's a decentralized app, and something to do with the staking here. Staking, yeah, something to do with that, and something to do with earning rewards. I think that's about to be released. I think the code is being checked by a third party now, sort of something like that, and that's going to bring utility to the token, because for the first time people will have something to do with the token. In terms of booking with the tokens, well, I don't know. I know that it was disabled for a long period of time. Let me just check my apartments to see if I can book it with TRVL now. I don't know if I can. I haven't checked it in a while, because I know that was disabled while they were putting it on Matic, and they had to disable it for some reason. And I just want to see if I can book. I'm not even sure if my apartments are available, so let me just do it sometime in the future. There you go. Let's have a look at that. Reserve it. Crypto. TRVL. Let me just connect this. Let me see if I can actually pay myself. Available on base. So look, see TRVL available on base network only. So I've not experienced that. So you can't do it on Polygon. So base. No TRVL. So obviously there's a few issues here. And it used to be that you could do it on the BSC network, the Binance network. And let me have a look at that. Let me see if I can do it on Binance. How do I switch this? Where's my MetaMask? Extensions. This is my MetaMask. The lag website is pretty annoying. Thanks, Legend Single Hand. The lag, huh? Was there a bit of lag? I mean, it's in development, huh? I mean, we're still experiencing. I don't know why I can't connect this to Binance, because I remember on Binance you could. Let me just try. Let me just log out. How do I log out? I don't even know how to log out. The other thing I can do is log in with my email. So let me try that as well. It's connected. I can't disconnect it though, and I don't know how to do it. All right, I'm not going to waste time. I'll have to ask Eric later because I'm not quite sure. Right, and I'll get an update and I'll let you know. So at the moment, it's still a work in progress. And then obviously the governance. Well, I mean, you might think like that, Gianna Games, but you know, let's just like don't be too disheartened, because you know, this product does work, this business does work. Let me just log into my back end here. Yeah. Again, it's all with Polygon. I haven't done it with Polygon yet, so I don't know how it's going to look. Is it going to take me to the right place? Yes. So you might think to yourself, you know, what is going on and this is rubbish, but actually, you know, I've got 3 properties on Dtravel and I've had 42,000 in realized earnings through Dtravel. So I've had 24 completed bookings. So I mean, it does work. Yeah, it's legit. It's not fake. It's just that we're a little bit behind schedule in terms of some things, and I think the lack of, or the limited communication about why things are being delayed and how they're progressing with certain aspects of the project, and the new updated schedule would ease people's uncertainty and concerns. And so that's really the biggest thing that I'm trying to address. Okay. Anywhere to check volume of the platform getting used? 40K. Yeah, I've literally earned $42,000 through Dtravel. Literally, it's come into my bank account with my reservations. So I had 24 completed reservations. Completed. All of them bar one have been fiat. Yeah, so paying using the credit card, which is connected through Stripe, but the everything is done through Dtravel. The first one that I did back in August 22 was here. It was USDC, this one here, July 25, 22. They paid using USDC on the Binance exchange. So I don't know how, look here, see, it says that. So I'm not sure how, I have to ask Eric, because I'm not sure how that's working now, because at the moment I can't connect using Binance. It's only Matic or Base. 40K is a lot. I know it's a lot. How is it so expensive? Can you explain? What do you mean expensive? So expensive? I don't understand. Explain that to me and I'll answer. I don't understand. What do you mean by how is it so expensive? So anyway, it's, look, I'm here to solve the problems. I'm here to help address the issues. I see some issues, I'm addressing them. I think if people are up for it, go into Telegram, type out your issues. I hope you do that, because we're a DAO. We're meant to be a DAO, and the more voices out there will help us get onto the right track, I think. How did I accumulate for you? Well, I told you I've got properties on Dtravel. I rent them out, and that was my earnings through rental income. But that was processed, the whole thing was processed through Dtravel, and I also got tokens. So I got 3% back in TRVL tokens. So what's 3% of 42,000? So I got like $1,260 worth of TRVL tokens just from processing my bookings through Dtravel. So the stats of the total platform, you're going to have to ask Eric. He usually posts them in the Telegram. I don't have the stats. They usually post it in the Telegram, and it's worth having a look at the Telegram if you're not. You can go and ask there, actually. They will answer. So Cynthia is the CEO. That's her. She responds, and then you've got James here somewhere. He also responds. This guy, JSOL. And then you've got probably some other people. You can go in there and ask. Yeah, they should respond. Okay. And if you have any comments, feedback, if you have any ideas, this is the place to have a conversation. The good thing is that you can say what you want. You're not going to get banned. I've said a lot of questionable things, and I've been critical in the Telegram. I've even called for the team to be replaced, and I'm still here. So it's not a dictatorship. It is a community where you can pretty much say what you want. And if you have ideas or if you have thoughts, don't be afraid to say them, because I think they've got an open ear, and they're looking to listen. They just need to hear it. Okay, so that's something to consider. So I think when it comes to the token and the token price, I think we're at a good place. Honestly, I'm seeing signs of reversal. It doesn't mean, like, I mean, no one can predict the future. I can't tell you we're going to high numbers. I am seeing signs of reversal. That's all. I told you I'm seeing higher lows on the weekly time frame. On these red weekly wicks, I'm seeing higher lows. I saw the initial buyout, which I liked, impulsive move up, see the pullback, and then you buy the pullback. And on the monthly time frame, I like that we're trading back above the previous month low again. That, for me, that's a monthly swing failure. Yeah, I like that. I like monthly swing failures. For me, this is a stronger swing. There's a difference between green swing failures and red swing failures. Yeah, I don't know if people have noticed this. You've got green swing failures where you have a green wick that swing failures the previous month, and you have red ones. Red ones, I think, are the better ones, not the green ones. Green ones indicate market buying. Red indicates market selling. So when you have the market sell and yet the price is unable to make a lower low, or rather it's unable to close lower, then that's basically telling you the price is finding support. It's just giving you a hint that the price is finding support. Obviously, we've made a lower low in the monthly time frame, so that hasn't reversed yet, but it's the first signs of support. And so that's what I like to see. I like to see that the price is finding support. The other thing that I was interested in on the local time frame, a little bit more local. So I did buy a little bit prematurely. Usually I wait for confirmation, and then, yeah, last night I was just like, whatever, fuck it, let's just buy. And just bear in mind, I'm not telling you guys to buy, do what you want. Like, I think it's a good project, and I'm buying. Now I'm buying. Shit, what have I done? I've moved that. All right, what I wanted to show you, let me zoom in here. So look, we're coming back into the golden pocket. Look at that. See that? So we had a rejection from the golden pocket a few times. Rejection, 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 rejection. Look at this. We're coming back into it now. It's actually like starting to look quite convincing. So you can flip the golden pocket into support. That's kind of what you want to see now on the price action. If the price can flip that area into support, then, hopefully, if we get enough kind of momentum change to the upside, then we have to take out that high. So nothing changes with regards to what needs to happen. We need to make a higher high on the daily time frame. In this context, the higher high would be at 4.5 cents. If we have a higher high on the daily time frame here, that's a market structure change confirmed to bullish. We had a higher high here. This is our lower low. This is our lower high. We put in a higher high. We need to take out that high. Yeah, if we can do that, if there's enough bullishness now to buy the price all the way up, then we're in a bullish market structure change from bearish to bullish. And then you just have to keep on putting in higher lows on the daily time frame. Yeah, so then this low becomes your higher low, and then you take out the higher high, and we just have to keep that trend now. Then you just have to keep on. Effectively, what that's saying is that the floor is here. If that higher low becomes the higher low, then the floor is actually here. That's the floor. That's the base floor of the market. And every single time we just have to make sure that the floor gets higher. It doesn't really matter about the highs. What really matters is the floor. We want the floor, the base, to come up and up. Even if you don't put in higher highs, you have to take out the first high. That's going to confirm the market structure change. But even if you come right back down, you just want the floor to keep on getting higher. It doesn't really matter about the highs, because eventually what happens is the price breaks out. Yeah, because people will just get too bullish, because the price just can't make lower lows. and it keeps on pushing the highs until eventually it breaks out, and then you get some kind of impulsiveness. So at the moment, I'll be looking to see if we can take out the high there. It's about 4.4 over the next week. I'd like to see us go all the way up to the top of that weekly wick this week, if it's possible. If not, next week, and take out that wick. All right, guys. GitHub shows no pushes. Maybe they don't have anything open source. It's not open source. No, it's not. So when it comes to the code, it's not open source. It's proprietary to Dtravel. Yeah. What is open source is the night protocol. So this is open source, I think. See if I can find it. Do they have a link? I don't know where the link is. I think the night protocol is some kind of open something. I don't think the code is open source. I think it's proprietary. I don't think they want to share it. They want it to belong to the DAO. And because it's an innovation, they don't want some random startup to come take their code and copy it, basically. That's what I think. So I hope that answers that. I don't know. I think all of this stuff is to do with their public API. So to do with the night protocol. I don't think it's to do with the actual Dtravel. That's as far as I know. I don't know unless something's changed. Okay, I think that makes sense because you're building a new technology, peer-to-peer vacation rentals, which can be expanded to anything really. Like we've even got boats on our Dtravel now. In the future, you can have anything really, and you don't really want someone to come and copy that. You don't want like a Binance to come and copy ETH and make their BSC chain and take our share of what we're creating. We don't really want that. And as long as the DAO is decentralized, that the key to the future success of this is to give the power of the project, the value of the project to the DAO, and that's going to basically give the token the most value, really. Like if my tokens give me the power to influence the project officially through proposals and through directing it with votes and stuff, I think then people will start to say, well, the more tokens I have, the more I own this business or I own this DAO. Once the people get into that mentality, and then when the actual business starts to grow and starts earning revenue in the future because the network is growing, then it's going to be extremely lucrative for the DAO, in my opinion. But we're still at the beginning, so that's kind of why I'm just like, all of this is speculative at the moment. But in the future, we're hoping that things will change, so it's no longer speculative. It's it's actually realized. So I think there's two ways that this token price can really grow. One is in the growth of the network, and so we have to see that happen. And then the other, and that's going to be the physical network. So the network of hosts, the network of travelers, the network of bookings increasing. And then the other way I think that the price of the token is going to be increase in value is the promise of a better future, the promise of glorious future. And I think that's where we've lacked. We've failed on that account because of, and I've been told the marketing hasn't even begun yet. So I always wonder why not. And that's the question that I've been posting all the time. Like, we have to sell people the vision of the future and get people to invest. It's like those Saudis building that crazy city in the middle of the desert. How are they getting people to invest? Because they're selling people the vision of the future. They're saying this is going to be the new Dubai, or this is going to be the most amazing place. And they're getting a lot of hype. And as a result, people are giving away their money and they're using that money to do stuff. And so what we have to do is sell the vision of a better future, whether it's an Airbnb killer or whether it's some kind of comprehensive decentralized travel, peer-to-peer travel platform or something. in something to that end. I don't know whose fault it is. Okay, it may be because certain people are risk averse, but the reality is that it can't continue forever, because we are meant to, or we are going to be, or we should be a DAO. Okay, and so, you know, I have in the past told them, you know, if this doesn't change, I'm out. But, you know, they're not empty threats, but they're also kind of, it's just a warning. I'm not out. I'm not planning to go anywhere. I'm not planning to leave. I'm not planning to sell anytime soon. But I think it's healthy that we have conversations, and it's healthy that we held them to account. And it's healthy that the community make their voices heard. And when it comes to, and I think when it comes to marketing, I'm not a marketeer, so I can't say with a definitive yes or no, but I think marketing is weak. I think we can do better. So anyway, that's Dtravel, that's TRVL. I don't really want to go on anymore, but I do think it's a good place to buy. All right, that's all. So, you know, I'm not saying buy because I want to sell or I want to increase my value because I market bought this morning. Yeah, I'm not saying that at all. Yeah, I'm not telling people to do that because I'm not planning to sell. But for the reasons I explained, I think it's quite a good place to buy. And if we can, like, this is already looking like an inverse head and shoulders pattern here, isn't it? On this 1 hour time frame. On the higher time frame, we are seeing potentially you could have a higher time frame. If we're able to put a higher high, then you're looking at a higher time frame inverse head and shoulders pattern. I think, oh, we have put in a higher high, sorry. So this is actually a higher time frame inverse head and shoulders. All we have to do now is change market structure, take out that high, and, you know, hopefully we can push above 5.5 if this pattern plays out. Okay, largely going to have to do a lot. It's all going to have to do with Bitcoin. Okay, so in order for this to play out, obviously Bitcoin needs to continue to be strong. I said that potentially we're pulling back, but look at this. Yeah, we are kind of, we're still topping her. We're still topping. And just be aware, we could also squeeze up. Yeah, so just because it looks like it's topping, we are putting in we did put in a higher low there. And so we may also be consolidating here for a squeeze. I think we're topping, but let's see. It's looking like you haven't taken out the low here. You see, that's the thing. So it's still bullish. This is still bullish. Higher lows, higher highs. That was the higher high, higher low. We haven't taken out the low, so we're still putting in higher lows here. So even though I think it's possible we're topping, it's also possible we take out the high and we continue this idea of higher lows, higher highs. That's literally what's been happening with Bitcoin. You see this whole price action here? It was basically higher lows, higher highs. It was basically the, and I wonder if we just continue, like, look at this channel. I actually wonder if we just continue like that as well. So it's just something to, I wouldn't mind buying down here. Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if that continues as well. And so naturally people are buying at the highs because they're expecting a breakout. The price pulls back, they dump, thinking it's going to break down, but actually it just puts in a higher low. The price goes up, people buy and expecting a breakout, and they get trapped. The price comes back down, expecting it to break down, and it just puts in a high low and it goes back up. That's really what was happening here. Yeah, and that's also possible, and that does make sense. It's kind of in the same line, the channel line. So let me just kind of expand on that idea as well. Oh, it's a bit lower, isn't it? Interestingly enough, we're underneath the channel, aren't we? Look at that.
Here, good morning.
Actually, this is quite interesting because we're coming into the top of this channel. Here. So actually, it's not as bullish. It'd be bullish to get back into it, but look, this is actually quite bearish, huh? Well, not bearish, but look, we're finding resistance here. Let me just kind of make it a little bit more accurate. Yeah, look at that, perfect. So I think we have to get back into that channel, huh? Otherwise, are we in another channel, like a lower one? Yeah, maybe. So that's kind of what's happening now, isn't it? Look, we're kind of just following these upward channels at the moment. I'm not crazy about this. I think we've come into the underside of that trend line. We're we're kind of reversing a little bit. I really think we have to go down. Yeah, we'll see. So I'm still kind of focused on this, yeah. So just because I think it's also possible the price could always just do this, just on, yeah, just to higher targets. It's really frustrating because it'd be very hard for people to buy unless they buy the dips and then they sell the highs every time it takes out the high. You just sell into that. If it follows that, that's going to be really frustrating for people. But it could totally happen. Otherwise, in my mind, I think this is the really good trade. Come right back down to the 50%, test the lows, reaction, and complete some kind of cipher harmonic for a real nice impulse to go up. All right, that's Bitcoin. Let me have a look at Slerf as well. I really like Slerf. I really like trading Slerf, to be honest with you. One of the reasons why I like it is because the market fees are relatively small compared to the amount it moves. Bitcoin, if it moves like, and get a really good entry, it moves, you close out and you're still basically not making any money because of the market fees. So annoying. It's really hard to scalp on Bitcoin with big market fees. But Slerf is actually relatively easy because it usually either, if it's bullish, it usually leads, and if it's bearish, it usually leads. It's usually leading Bitcoin. That's what I've noticed, Slerf. So if you see divergence between the way Slerf is moving and Bitcoin, then that's a clue. Anyway, I've got this thing going on here. So this is from last night. Yeah. Basically, I had this to this pivot, to that pivot. Which one was it? I had it to this one, actually, to this pivot. To this pivot. I had it like a fib time at the 618, which was last night. So I longed it, and it just went up. That was quite good. Let me get that now. Let me just have a look at the higher time frame. For look, 3 green weeks. This last week was a nice big green week with a green wick. Not fond of that, to be honest with you, in the highs. That's not really, in my mind, that's not very bullish, because you've taken out the liquidity from this pivot here. You've closed lower. Generally speaking, these green candles are they resist the price from going up. And you can potentially sell into that. So I'm not crazy about this green candle. If it was at the absolute low, I'd be okay. For me, it'd be okay. Like this inverse hammer here at the lows, for me, it's okay. When it's in a continuation, I'm not crazy fond of that. It just means that the price can easily go up to the top of the wick and reject to go down. Yeah, that's usually what happens when it comes to the way these candles print. You think it's going to go up and up, but actually, because it's a green candle, there's a high chance that it will reject from the top of that candle. Yeah, So just have to bear that in mind. And look, you see that we've come into this monthly level, and we've immediately had a reaction. So you see that monthly level, there's also a daily level there. Immediately we've had a reaction. So the price is reacting from that monthly level now. So that is kind of major resistance in the way. And so there's no reason to think that the price is just going to go through that level. I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. I don't think this last 3-day candle is bullish. Yeah, I think it's actually quite bearish. But obviously the price is still trying to top out in some meaningful way. Anything can happen. Like look at this impulsiveness. That was OKX. Who knows? Anything can happen. But I'm not feeling crazy bullish on Slerf at the moment. I think it's just ranging, and we have to see what happens. And I was wondering why we haven't really. I was interested to see whether we would actually test the low here, and we haven't done it yet. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'd like to test this low. I'd like to come down here and test this this expansive candle. You see how we've come up and immediately the price is rejected, so it hasn't even been able to get into the top of the wick. And so I would like to see the price come down here for a test. That's basically where the price was at before we had this kind of impulsiveness. Come back down, test, fill the gaps for continuation. That's what I'm thinking at the moment, without really going into too much depth. And I don't think this is just going to go up and up and up just yet, right? I do like that we've had a swing failure of these month lows. Yeah, it's been a market buy, and naturally people will be taking profit. And then I want to see if on the monthly time frame, what I really want to see with Slerf on the monthly time frame is whether we can put another red candle in and have a higher low. If we can like put another red month somewhere in the future and the low is higher, that's going to give me a lot more confidence about the bottom. Yeah, so at the moment I'm not sure whether the bottom's in or not. But in the context of Bitcoin it might be. But the other thing that I'm bearing in mind is that the momentum is still to the downside. You see that's a 50-day moving average, simple moving average. Even though the price is nicely consolidating above it, you see the momentum of the moving average is actually heading downwards. So that has to turn, isn't it? These moving averages have to turn. And naturally, as they continue going down, because the momentum is to the downside, it's gonna pull on the price. The price isn't gonna get away from those moving averages too easily. So I'm not like bearish, but I'm not bullish. I'm kind of like in between. I just think this is just trying to correct itself after you've had an injection of volume from OKX. And honestly, I don't see why we don't test the low. So I think the next great entry will be a test of the low. Okay. That being said, if you drop underneath this moving average, you could end up finding yourself going much lower. So it's good. With Slerf, it's good to day trade and intraday trade because when it turns and in sync with Bitcoin, it can move quite fast. On the higher time frame, we've had a massive down move, and all I can see now is it's trying to get out of the bottom here. As far as market structure is concerned, technically that's not even a higher high. Technically that's not correct. I'll tell you why. That was the lower high. We didn't take out this high until we took it out here. So you went from a lower high here all the way down to a lower low in one go. This wasn't a lower low, this wasn't a lower high. So technically on the daily time frame, we're still in a bearish downtrend on Slerf. Yeah. And that's just something to bear in mind. Like, so a token like TRVL is a lot closer to changing the trend than a token like Slerf, just because of the distance the price has to move to take out that high here. That's what really is required to change this from bearish to potentially bullish, that would just be a higher high, and then you still have to put in a higher low, a higher high. So there's still a lot of work to be done on Slerf. It's just something to bear in mind. Let me have a look at the four. I'm not really going into crazy depth. On the 4-hour time frame, you're on an uptrend, aren't we? That we took out these highs. No, we're not even. You see, that's the thing. We're not even in an uptrend on the 4-hour. So that's quite interesting. That was your lower high. That was your lower low. We took out that high here with that OKX launch. That's your higher high. And actually, until you take out that high, we haven't actually changed the 4-hour time frame market structure. We're still bearish technically. It's just that this whole thing is correcting potentially to put in a lower high before it goes down. So you have to just consider that that is the current situation. Confirmation on the higher time frame. So like, I don't have any Slerf. I just trade it. But if I see confirmation of a higher time frame market structure change, I will look to pick up Slerf on spot. So that's all I'm waiting for right now. I'm not really interested to mess about with bearish market structure. If I suddenly see in this context, this high taken, that's quite high up. It's like 4.49 cents. And then you'll be looking for the pullback. That's really the entry here. The higher low after you put in a higher high. Really, that's what you're looking for Slerf. If you're looking for a higher time frame. Now, it doesn't have to be like if this now suddenly pumps for whatever reason, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. You're still looking for the higher low. You know, that's really what we're looking for. You miss the pump, but you catch the big pump, the bigger pump. That will be the next. That will be after a market structure change, right? So that's kind of where Slerf is right now. I think it's good to trade intraday at the moment. I don't necessarily see big moves on the horizon just yet. Look, we're underneath the point of control. This is the overall range on buy bet. Look, we found resistance on it. Look, you see that? Resistance. So there's no reason to think that we're just going to go through the point of control. So that's kind of why I'm not like crazy, like, oh my God, buy, you're going to miss out. This is going to go to the moon, because we're still under a big level of resistance. It's not far above us. It's only 6% above the current price. Already we're potentially we're putting in a lower high here, potentially. So just bear that in mind. So while this looks bullish because it's kind of impulsed up, it is possible that we just put in a lower high here and go right back down to the bottom. Okay. And then potentially what I would like to see is a test here. That would make sense. That would bring us to the 50% level of this fib retracement. If the price wants to give us a really good test, then it's the golden pocket, isn't it? Because that's where the value area low lies as well. So obviously the best entry in this context would be to go all the way down here, all the way down here. That's literally the best entry on Slerf at the moment. If people are interested, like you just want to catch a back test of the value area low into the golden pocket, clear up all of these lows, and then head right back up. So in my mind, that would be the best test the value area low. But I'm fully aware that because we had this expanding candle here on the OKX launch, potentially the price could stop here at this 50 fib. So even though I might be thinking lower, the reality is you could just easily come all the way back down here and bounce. If it goes up, it goes up. I'm not too fussed about whether it goes up or not. In the higher time frame context, if it goes up, you want to flip the point of control into support. So until you see that, you're just buying the pump. You're not doing anything other than buying the pump. What you want to do is you want to buy the support test on some kind of back test after the price is pumped. And so you're not chasing the pump, you're looking to buy a tested support level. Give me 1 moment. That's Slerf. Any other projects you bought in? I'm thinking because of you. Any other projects are you in? Bought some BKNS. Um, I'm about to buy a bunch of altcoins, to be honest with you. I'm this week, hopefully. I'm about to release a large amount of capital. I'm about to buy some altcoins this week, hopefully. And what I'll be doing, so primarily up till date, I've just had TRVL, mainly because I know the project, I understand the project, I know the team, I trust the team. They're not going to rug pull, and I think the future for TRVL is bright. It's like a long hold. I've been trading altcoins, but I haven't really liked buying and holding. And so now I see it as an opportunity to start accumulating altcoins for a portfolio. So I'll be looking to do that in the next week or two, or now even. I have a lot of things on my list, a lot of interesting things. It doesn't really matter, does it? It's good to just have a balance and diversify on different market cap values and see. That's what a portfolio is. It's just a way to diversify risk. I'm still kind of like really interested in this chart, which is the Bitcoin dominance chart. And I'm not sure that we've hit our absolute peak of Bitcoin dominance yet. Got this higher time frame trend line at the top. Potentially we're looking at some kind of A, B, C, D, E. It's coming into this trend line. That also corresponds with a higher time frame SR flip on this pivot here. Yeah. Also, it corresponds to the 618, effectively the golden pocket. The golden pocket from this pivot all the way down to here. That's the golden pocket. So we have a lot of confluence at exactly the same place, coming together very nicely for Bitcoin. So it's almost there. Like you see how we're almost into alt season. I think this is where alt season begins. We're almost there. We're there this week. And then I want to see this just drop off. That's really what I want. So that's kind of why I'm like not interested in altcoins. I see a lot of altcoins are at their lows, and I think this is coming into major higher time frame resistance. So really, alt season is upon us now. In the next month, I think. Within the next month, I think we're going to see. I don't see why not. We're going to come here and resist, and then Bitcoin dominance is going to pull back. If it correlates with Bitcoin going to all-time highs, and then Bitcoin pulling back, and then the capital being redistributed into altcoins, this is going to make perfect sense, isn't it? This is going to make perfect sense. So I'm very close to buying a ton of altcoins, and it's just a gamble, really, isn't it? Just like you just have to diversify and see what happens. Spread it across different market caps. Do I buy Slerf? Or do I buy one of these ones, which I'm interested in? Not. I mean, I think for me, not would be more interesting than Slerf, just simply because it's more bullish. Look how bullish it is. It had a impulsive move, and we're now in correction. Very different price action to Slerf. You see how Slerf is just sold off. You know, it's quite bearish. The momentum is down. It made the lower low here. It still has work to do. So in my mind, what I'm thinking of are tokens which have the potential to launch us into price discovery with the next move. Yeah, so I'm looking at tokens with the potential to get into price discovery. That's why I've been looking at this one as well as ZRO. ZRO is already in price discovery. It's had a pullback, but there's no reason why it can't take another leg up into price discovery. Yeah, so those are the tokens I'm interested in, the ones which have the potential to expand into price discovery. When you're looking at tokens, this is really important in this context right now, that you're focused on tokens with the potential to expand into price discovery. Yeah, Solana is one of those tokens, to be honest with you. Solana has the potential to expand into price. I think Solana will get rejected from the all-time high, just because it's a major liquidity level. But those are the tokens that make more sense. It's better to buy tokens which have the potential to break into price discovery than the ones which are struggling to get out of the lows. Okay, you have to bear that in mind. So I think injective is a good one. If it takes out that high, we're in price discovery. Marve is saying I buy bigger and downsize on the gain, so I get good long-term position for the coins when they drop again. Yeah. But just bear that in mind. So some tokens have no chance of getting into price discovery anytime soon. Yeah, and some tokens do. I mean, this one's a good one. Voight. I might buy some of that. Look, it's had a really nice. We're getting a nice reaction. Effectively, what you want to do is you want to let it go up and then buy the pullback, the next pullback. You're not going to chase the pump. Effectively, what I'll be looking for these tokens is some kind of market structure change on the 4-hour time frame. So I want some kind of medium time frame market structure change. Then I'm going to buy the pullback. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then obviously that's going to be spot. Okay, so we're almost there, but we're not there quite yet. You don't need to chase the first pump. You don't need to catch the absolute low. Whatever happens, you can buy the pullback. You can wait for the pullback. You could buy the higher low. And that's a perfectly sound and safe strategy rather than trying to catch the absolute low. It makes a lot more sense for a market structure initiation of change and then to buy the first pullback, the first big pullback. And that will be on the 4-hourly time frame, in my opinion. So I'll be looking for signs of reversal as well when I see the pullback. So Timecoin has been crazy bullish. I don't know, good Timecoin. If you bought back in December, it's basically 3x and it hasn't really given back its gains. Look, just hasn't really pulled back. So, you know, Timecoin is potentially bullish, potentially into price discovery. You have all this selling and it just gets sucked up. People are buying. Look at this Rose. Rose lost a big major level of support. It's basically back at the LPS. Still okay, you've got this China higher time frame channel. It's kind of fell underneath it. It's trying to get back up. Again, in this context, you have to be buying support. So I'd be looking for tokens where the price is clearly shown that it's found support. Yeah, it's finding support. So I'm not seeing that in certain tokens, and other tokens I am. This is a good one. Render, look. Again, it's kind of lost that channel, similar to Rose, but this is the right place because you've had you tested the lows. The value area low. I don't know, it's potentially, yeah. Ava, I think Ava was a good one. Ava. I was looking at Ava. I was interested. Why was I interested in Ava? Again, it's the same idea. Like you've got this channel on a lot of tokens. A lot of tokens have lost this lower channel and they're trying to reclaim it. Again, with Ava, I'd be looking for a reclaim of a major support. It's actually held the price. When you think about TRVL and Ava has actually been quite resilient in falling. That gives me a little bit of confidence with Ava. While other tokens have really pulled back, look, Ava's pretty much held this current price, so it hasn't been crazy sell off. We've lost this kind of higher time frame, lower channel, but we're kind of holding this high volume node, and what you can see clearly is that the point of control in this high volume node have shifted. So you see that was the previous point of control. This is the high volume node. They've flipped places now, and you can see now the price is trying to find support. It hasn't succeeded yet, just because last week it kind of fell underneath it, but it's trying to find support here. So it's potentially a good place to buy. It still needs to go up and clear that high volume node. So on 2 occasions you've kind of failed. What you really need is the price to flip to go up. So I think this is a good one simply because after so much selling, it hasn't really dropped that much. So that gives you confidence, doesn't it? It gives you confidence that Bitcoin has been pulling back a lot. A lot of altcoins have pulled back a lot, and this hasn't really pulled back that much from this local high. It's only down 34%. So for an altcoin, that's pretty good for a low market cap altcoin to pull back 30-40% only. That's not bad, huh? That's not bad for an altcoin. BKN and soil. I'll quickly have a look at it. I'm not going to have an extended stream today, so I'll just quickly have a look at them. I don't know which exchanges to use, so I'm just going to use MEX. B. This is soil. It's all right. Looks all right to me. It's like you can see here on a monthly time frame, the value area high here. There's some kind of test here, isn't there? See that? Impulsive buy up 2 weeks ago. Last week we had the take profit. Red. There's a red candle there. I like those red candles. I like red wicks. I like to buy red wicks. This downtrend's been broken. You have to take out the high here to change market structure, I think. Potentially. Actually, no. So you're still in bullish market structure, actually. So I'll just explain it to you. It's quite deceptive, but what you can see is that you're making higher lows here. Yeah, that was your higher high. And then here you took out the higher high there. This is on the daily time frame, probably the same on the weekly time frame. In the whole of this downtrend, it looks like you're putting in lower highs and lower lows, which you are on the medium time frame, like 4 hourly or whatever. But on the daily time frame, this is your low here. That was your higher low. So as long as the price doesn't take out that low, then you're still bullish. The market structure is still bullish. Yeah, that low is really important, that pivot, because after you put in a higher low, you put in a higher high. So that's your higher low. We haven't taken out that higher low yet. Okay. And now that the market, look at this is quite bullish. It came into the value area and it just left it. And this is like a back test, which has been front run, like an SR flip, but it's actually trying to back test the value area and it has failed. Okay. So you're getting, this is quite good. So you have a clear invalidation. The clear invalidation is this pivot here, in my opinion, on the higher time frame. You don't want to lose that pivot because that's your higher time frame day, higher low. And the rest is just correction. This whole thing is correcting. Yeah. So I don't know. Could this be the first impulsive move? Yes. And could that be the correction? Yes. Yeah. So that could be this could be like your wave one, potentially. Somewhere from here to here. Maybe this is a wave 2, maybe that's your wave 3, maybe this is the wave 4, and maybe we're going to have a wave 5. Just bear in mind that the way I've drawn it out now, wave 3 can't be the smallest. Yeah, so if that is your wave 3, it's obviously shorter than the wave 1. That means the wave 5 can't be longer than the wave 3. Yeah, so just bear that in mind. Just Elliott wave theory says wave 3 can't be the shortest. So if you had an impulsive move here, which it looks like it, and a corrective move here. Now the question is, does that one end here? And is this just an extended flat? Okay, let me just kind of work on that idea. to see if that's correct or not, just based on this idea. This is an extended flat. And you can actually see that wave 3 has still failed to one it regardless. So actually wave 3 is shorter. See that? Assuming that wave 0 begins here, could it begin here? It's on the green candle. I like to play around with this stuff because, you know, it's semi-subjective. If it starts on that green candle, this hits perfectly. Okay, so it's a little bit subjective. If the impulse starts on that green daily candle, which could be, or it could have started on the absolute low on that red wick there. If it starts on that red wick and it ends at the top of that wick, then you've failed to make a one-to-one. Anyway, let's just say for the sake of argument that it's not the shortest. But maybe, look, they're quite equibalanced, aren't they? So maybe the next one is similar. Just right back up to the highs. Take out the highs. That's what I'm thinking right now. JK, do I consider I don't consider fundamentals. It's just technical analysis. The only fundamental consideration I may or may not do will be on TRVL. And even then, most of the time, fundamentals have no impact on the price. Usually, it's just the market sentiment, and it's Bitcoin. Usually, it's just Bitcoin. Yeah. And then the communities, if the communities are large enough, they see that their Bitcoin is finding strength or is strong, then the communities will just start to market buy their tokens. And so that's when it comes to fundamentals, that's usually the only fundamental that matters. Other than that, it's just all technical analysis based on fib levels and volume levels, really. And then obviously Elliott wave theory plays a large part of how I analyze, because you can only have 3 impulsive waves and 2 corrective waves in a 5-wave move. Okay, so it's just the rules, and I like to count waves. So just without going into even more detail, I'm just thinking about this move here now. I'm just thinking 1, 2, 3. Potentially this was all the way up to there, to be honest with you, just looking at it. Just counting it. Look, you just have to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Potentially. Okay. I like this, actually. I like this. It failed to get to the 1-to-1, and actually look, the 618 is some kind of neckline here. See that? That means the 3 is shorter, if that's the 3. Or, and this is the caveat, because the only reason why maybe not, I don't know, it's hard to tell, but that was quite impulsive in itself. So this is the question when it comes to Elliott waves. That could be the 3. We could be seeing a 4 and a 5 now, like this. Yeah. Probably to there. And that's your wave 1. Or this could be the wave 1 of a larger, higher, like a larger 3. And that's always the question. That's also possible. So actually that first wave there is just wave 1 of 5 waves, as long as you don't invalidate that wave one, which it hasn't because you've put in a higher low here, you haven't taken out that pivot, then it is also possible that this next wave is actually the three of the, we're still in the three. Yeah, so that was just the wave one of the three. And so you have this initial wave one, the corrective two, and we're in the three. That was the wave one of the three, and this is the correction. It's the two of the three, and the next will be the three of the three. So that's also possible. How would you know? You don't really know until it happens. That's the problem. You can't really preempt or predict what's going to happen. Okay, but you can see where it fails. So for example, in this example, let's just say the price goes up here and then comes right back down, and then invalid takes out that pivot, then you can clearly see that it's failed, and then you can conclude that actually that was the 3, that was the 4, and then you just had a kind of mediocre 5 here to complete this kind of 5 waves here, and so you end up with your wave 1 being all the way up to here, and then be looking for a zigzag correction all the way down to here, down to the bottom. Okay, but if actually this impulsive move continues, then that actually this could be more like that, where you're still in the wave 3, and you're looking for intermediary waves. You're looking for a wave 3 of 3 now, and actually that would have to take you kind of higher, because then the wave 4 can't come underneath the 1. So if you suddenly see that, then that gives you the clue, that gives you the indication that actually this blue wave 3 is actually much bigger. It isn't mediocre, it's actually a much bigger wave. Okay, so yeah, so it's quite subjective. And no one knows. I mean, I think this is now impulsing, so regardless of what we're in, whether we're in the 5 or the 3 of 3, or the 5 of the initial waves, this is actually quite impulsive, isn't it? So you've had a little bit of an impulsive move up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like a correction. It's starting to impulse again. Potentially this is going to impulse up. So it's quite impulsive right now. So I don't think I'm expecting it to go down like that, but you know, if it does, then that's also fine, because then this whole thing is an ABC correction for the actual impulse. So you just have to bear that in mind. So there's always kind of like a bearish idea, a bullish idea when it comes to counting, and that's why it's so important to follow the rules, because the rules can't break. So if you see the rules break, then you have to reanalyze. This looks okay, so potentially 1, 2. Let's have a look. Anyway, I don't really know. I don't know if I would buy right now, even if it's going up, because I can't tell. Like you need a good entry. I wouldn't be able to just buy into this right now. Maybe yes, maybe it's possible. That you've got a red weekly wick. I like that wick. I'd like to buy it as low as possible in that wick. And so I do see, I am potentially seeing a week similar to TRVL, like a weekly reversal, 2 lower weekly wicks and then a higher red wick. Like that's a little bit of a reversal pattern forming there. So potentially, yeah, similar to the tops. You see at the tops you have like these green wicks, they get lower and then it tops out. That is that. BNK. Oh god, no. Scary shit. I don't think it's a good idea ever to catch a falling knife, ever. And even though now you're finding a little bit of support, this would still be technically catching a falling knife, in my opinion. And even though it's a good area to buy, is why is it good? Because you've come all the way back to this green volume candle, and you're testing the bottom, you're finding support. So we are finding support here, but look how aggressively sold off that last week was. You could buy that, but it doesn't mean it's reversing. You'd have to, like, I think it still needs a little bit of room and time to reverse, just because of how aggressively it's been sold. It's been quite an aggressive sale. Yeah, and so you don't want to, you could trade the dead cat bounce on those, but I think taking a higher time frame long-term position is a little bit more difficult in this area here. Just is quite arbitrary. That being said, look, so this is interesting. So you almost think that that is your first impulsive wave, and you have like an ABC here. Then you have your wave 3, which actually has invalidated this wave 1, because if it almost held. So technically, so I'll just explain how this works so you understand. You probably already know, so I'm just reminding you. So potentially you got a wave 1 there, and you got a wave 2 there. That could have been your wave 3. For this to be technically correct, then this would have to be your wave 4, 5 there. Yeah, that would have been it. Okay. Which is a bit, that wave 5 is, it's rubbish, isn't it? It's not really, what is that? But that's technically correct, because you're coming back into the neckline of the 1. That's where you have your next impulse. That's not really impulsive, is it? It's like got a little impulsiveness, and then it just fails. So I'm actually now thinking to myself, potentially just looking at this, maybe that first wave was rubbish. I don't know. Maybe this was your actual wave 1, and now we're just coming back to correct. So in this context, okay, the invalidation is this low here. This is your invalidation. So if you take out this low, you've invalidated this wave 1. If you hold a higher low here, this next one could be your wave 3. Just in the same way that this held a higher low here. You see how this impulse began here. You held a higher low, and you had your next impulsive wave. Even though it hasn't continued with holding this neckline for continuation, which would be correct for wave 5, you could argue that that first wave was a false start. This was the actual wave, the first wave, and this is like a corrective ABC, and then we're looking to put in a higher low here. Technically, you don't want to take out this low. Probably that's where your first wave began, like a wave 1 correction. I don't know, it's hard to see, isn't it? It's not easy to see. Let me just zoom in a bit. 1 correction. Where's your 5? Maybe that is the 5, huh? See, that's interesting, because if that's the 5, then actually that is the wave 1 is over here. That might be to there. Still incorrect, huh? So it's still not correct, because technically this can't come underneath here. So it's still not correct. So this is definitely, this wave 1 has somewhat been invalidated by the price coming underneath the that neckline. Okay. So I just had to go through that to see for myself. So then in this context, you're looking at 0 to the 1 there. Now we're looking for a 2. And then you'll probably be looking for a massive 3, probably. The best entry here would be a higher low at the point of control, right down here. But the price could easily reverse anywhere here. It's just that you had quite an aggressive selling, so you wouldn't just catch that. Try and catch that. You wouldn't just do that. Look, we're into the 886. This is like the last level of support as far as fib is concerned. It's a really good place to buy, because that's kind of, look, you see this next impulsive move, that's where it began. So as long as we don't take out this low, I think this could be a good entry somewhere here. But what happens if the price comes down? Because it really, the best entry in this range is going to be at the point of control, because that's right above the value area low. So it's a tricky one. It's very tricky. Where do you buy? Do you buy now, or do you wait for actually the best place to buy, which is down here? And personally, I would wait for the best place to buy, which is down there, or I'd be looking for a sign of strength. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a sign of strength just now, just yet. In this context, a sign of strength would be clearly a reclaim of the nearest fib level, this 786. Just getting back above there would be a sign of strength. If you see the price is able to get back above there and flip that level back into support, then sure, then that would be a really good entry. Otherwise, here is a good entry, but where do you put your invalidation? Maybe at the lows, because you're at the 886 if it holds. And obviously testing the point of control would be the best one. So you're in a good place to potentially buy, but there's a really tight invalidation. You don't want to take out this low here. You take out this low, it's not good, is it? It's not good, because you're taking out the higher low. That would be a lower low. You don't want to take out that low. That's your absolute rock bottom invalidation, in my opinion. And so that's why it could possibly turn here, because you're just putting in a higher low. But if you do go down here, it doesn't really matter. You still want to put in a higher low. Otherwise, you'd have to be patient and wait. I'm playing on the RWA narrative. The next vesting is only in Jan. If this is right, I'm going to be blessed with renting one of your TRVL spots. I'll buy it. If it does play out right, I'll be out of not TRVL. I'll be out of the renting business. I'll be in the crypto business. All right, so it could be turning here. I don't know. You'd have to be looking for... I don't see it right now in the candles. I don't see the price bottoming out just yet. Yeah, so just bear that in mind. Right. But let's see. I mean, it could be good. This would be really good. If you can get a rejection, a reclaim of the 786, I think that would be the first safest entry, or lower down at the point of control, holding a higher low. That's kind of what I think. Right. I think in the long term, just buying the point of control is a good long-term strategic accumulative place, the point of control. On a higher time frame, why would it's always going to be good to buy the point of control, always. I haven't checked that narrative. BTCFI, I have no idea. You mean Bitcoin DeFi? I'm not really into the fundamentals so much. I'm more kind of just focused on technicals, to be honest with you. Let's have a look at Bitcoin now. I'm going to end the stream after looking at this. That midpoint is low. That midpoint is playing a role. So all I've done is I've just cloned this channel, and I've cloned it down, brought it down, and you can now see that we had a little bit of reaction off that midpoint. We are potentially in this lower channel, yeah. So that's also something I want to be clear. It could just go. For this idea to continue, you have to keep on making higher highs and higher lows. So it's not done that yet. Otherwise, I'd rather us go all the way down to this D point by tomorrow morning. All right, guys. Boom is boomer. Quickly have a look at that. Otherwise, I'm going to go because I've got a few things I need to do today. Busy day. Oh my God. You can't buy that. Impossible to buy that. Yeah, it'd be very difficult to buy that, even though it looks like it wants to go up. Very difficult to buy that. Despite, are you looking? People are looking at this and they go, "Oh my God, I gotta buy, gotta buy, gotta buy." Look how far it's gonna go. Yeah, look, it wants to go to the moon, to the moon. Let's go to the moon. Let's go to the moon. But you can't buy that because for reasons that you can't explain, someone could sell and it could dump. At the very least, buy red candles, red wicks. At the very least. But I wouldn't buy that. Can't do it. You buy the lows, not the highs. Coming into the point of control, 100% can't buy that. You gotta buy in when you find support into the lows, you know. In this context, look at this. Really nice higher time frame, kind of like an SR flip going on here. Even if you didn't catch that the next red wick, red candle, look at this. You've got a really nice reversal pattern here on the daily time frame. You see that red wick, that red candle? That was your entry. Get back into the range. Your first red candle, it has a wick underneath it. That's your people's take profits, held support. After people have taken profit, the price is held support. That was your entry. That was the buy candle. When you're looking at candles, that was the right one to buy. In the whole of this whole price action, that was the right one. That red wick there on the back test. Obviously, this would have been good too. This red wick here, higher lows, the red wick here at the lows. You couldn't buy that. If anything, you're looking to sell that. Yeah. But you have to wait for the price to top out. So at the moment, there's no trade here. It's just chase the pump trade. You want to chase the pump, this is the best way to do it. Just ape in and hope you don't go bankrupt. There you go, 50x leverage, boom. All right. Unless there's anything else. Oh God, look at that tier. Mocha. Oh shoot. This is a brand new token, huh? Look. Just pumping like there's no tomorrow. 62%. It's not much. The other token, the only other token that I have actually, which I mean, I bought it on a whim. What happened was I got fed up with this stupid project called Cube. And in hindsight, you could argue I made a mistake, but you know, who cares? It was a gamble. At the time I said it was a gamble, so it was no big deal. Cube. And it's quite interesting because I sold it and I bought this meme coin, Cuff. And Cuff dumped and Cube didn't dump. And so obviously you could argue that I feel a little bit stupid. Not really, because even Cube was a gamble, so I wasn't really too bothered about Cube in itself. That in itself was a gamble. Yeah. Let me just have a look at this now. So what happens? I bought and obviously it dumped. Whatever. I didn't sell. I just whatever. It's a long hold anyway. Cube was always a long hold, but I mean, you could argue I lost money because then Cube pumped. See that? It went up 59%. And obviously, if I would have sold the pump and then bought Cuff, then I would have been in a really good position, because then Cuff is now starting to go up. Anyway, I'm in a position on this. It's just a shitty meme coin. Who knows? These things are gambles. I think these meme coins, for no reasons that I can't explain, have the potential to go up. Like with no limit. So they're real gambles, you know. That's all they are. If you're ever in a meme coin, Don't ever think it's not a gamble. According to this, the value area low is here. When it controls the same place. So naturally, I want to see the price get back into the value area. If it does get back into the value area, this is going to be actually quite strong. And then I'll be looking for the price to go all the way up to the value area high. But, you know, if meme season is fast approaching, then I wouldn't be surprised if some of these meme coins get into price discovery, because that would be the destination. High or low, you know, high or low, price discovery. That's kind of what you're looking for. It'll probably sell into price discovery. Then you'll be looking for higher lows like that. So that's kind of what I'm imagining, but we'll see what happens. It's just a meme. It's just a shitty meme coin. And then just going back to the previous, so someone actually came onto my YouTube channel and kind of, yeah, it's all shit, isn't it? All memes are rubbish. Mocked me a cube because it pumped, but you know, when I sold my cube, I said to them, every pump is going to be sold into, and look what happens. It just immediately people are exiting. You see that? That's a really bearish price action. Pump, dump, and you made a lower low. See that? Pump, dump, lower low. So whatever anyone says to me, I didn't make a bad decision exiting this token. Yeah. Regardless of whether it, but like no one's ever going to be able to time anything perfectly, 100%. Yeah. I probably exited somewhere around here when it was about 3. It came up to the same place and it's right back down at 2. So it's a really kind of poor performing token. The only good thing that I see here is a slight increase in volume, but the reality is this is really poor just to make another all-time low. Yeah. When Bitcoin is about to go to the all-time highs, you've got token like this making all-time lows. This is really poor. And so you just have to avoid this. Is Cuff good or bad? I think it's a gamble. It's like anything else, is a gamble. I think of all of them, this probably has a good chance just because it's a cat and it's stupid, you know, like that's kind of what you want, like a stupid cat. Yeah. I think what I'll probably do in my, because I did add a little bit down here, I'll probably exit and just look to break even and then put it back in at the right place. Yeah. Before it was a gamble. Now that we have more data, I'll be looking to kind of exit probably at the point of control if it can get there, and then just look to redistribute or reaccumulate at the right places. So whereas before it was at the right place, I didn't trade it, and so obviously it lost its support, and so I'll be looking to come back to exit and then look to reaccumulate. I think this has potential to pump though. You think it's a shit coin, but look, you've got a nice amount of volume coming here. You're getting quite bullish buy ups. You see the red candles are getting higher, so you can see that the trend is somewhat changing or changed. And I think with meme season fast approaching, and with Solana pumping to all-time highs potentially, I really don't see why this doesn't start pumping too. You know, like even though it's bad, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's all about money. It's all about making money. This is already up 35% today. See that? 35% a day. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad. All right. So that was just kind of updates on all of that stuff. Any questions? Otherwise, I'm probably going to go. And thank you for joining. Click on like. That would be appreciated. I'm probably going to be streaming again tomorrow morning. Okay, so probably about the same time. So I'll come and try and catch it before the US session. Let me just quickly have a look at Bitcoin again, because that's really the only coin that matters in crypto. Oops, let me just hide that. Hide these. Still trying to go up, huh? We're getting some kind of topping, but it's, you see how the bias is pushing up and pushing up. Still trying to go up, so we're still making higher lows here. Hasn't put in a higher high. The point of control of this local range is in the lows. You don't want to lose that. Huh? You lose that, then you're going down. You lose that, then you're going down, I think. So you want the price to hold here. If you fake out the lows, that's fine. Then you could be flagging, yeah? So that's also possible that the price is flagging. Just got to bear that in mind. So if you do lose it, get right back in, then you're just in a flag, huh? And then possibly there are some single prints. Let me just have a look and have a look at the order flow, because I haven't looked at that yet. Oh yeah, so you've got bearish divergence here. You see you've got a higher CVD high, higher than that. You see the price is lower. That means there are limit sells. People are selling limit orders. You see that? Market orders are being absorbed by sell limits in this price range. So it's only slight bearish divergence, but you can clearly see, look, market buying and the price is actually forming a lower high. So that's actually quite bearish. So just bear that in mind. As always, it could be leading, and so all the price needs to do to invalidate this bearish CVD is to make a higher high here. The price says that this becomes invalidated, but at the moment, what you can clearly see is that market buying is being absorbed, right? So just bear that in mind. And you are getting people longing into these highs. You can clearly see that in this overall price range, you see the OI is going up. You see that? So you see people are market longing into these highs. If that gets overly absorbed, and if you don't get any bullish absorption, then actually you'll be looking to go down. And just on an intraday level, if we start to lose the VWAP, then that's obviously quite bearish. Okay, so just bear that in mind. You're not gonna be bullish while the price is underneath the VWAP. The moment it's above the VWAP, it hasn't tested the VWAP yet. And then the other kind of just something to bear in mind, you've got a couple of single prints here on the way up. Yeah. So it's definitely worth marking out these single prints, because if you come back down just to kind of clear the lows, maybe make some kind of flag here, that's probably the first place where the price is going to find support in the single prints here. 69070 through to 69110. That would probably be the best entry for a long, assuming that this is going to hold this higher range. Otherwise, I'll be looking for lower, you know. So at the moment it's still okay. I'm not thinking it's going to drop anytime soon. The minute you lose the VWAP, then things could change quite quickly, yeah. And see right now, looking at, we've got a brand new session has just been started, the New York session. You see the London session, the point of control was here at 69520. So naturally that's going to offer a little bit of support here. We haven't touched it yet, so the previous London session point of control will act as support. So we're kind of coming onto support right now, and that kind of correlates with this range point of control. So that's quite good support here in this local range. We have the London session point of control and this local range point of control at the same place. So I don't necessarily think this is going to go down. And like I said, this is extremely speculative, but if it happens, that'll be a really good entry, good trade. All right. Oh yeah, I can send you a link of the TRVL Telegram. Let me do that now, and then I'm gonna where is the link? Find it. How do I find it? I'm looking at this page. I don't know how to find the link. Is there? Was it there? View topic info. View group info. Where's the link? It's there, isn't it? Give me a link. Let me find it somewhere else. I can find it somewhere else. Yeah. There's the links of all of Dtravel stuff. So you can find the Telegram and everything there. The Telegram is here. It says 2,830 courses. Well, it's actually more. So I don't know why it says that. It's over 5,000. There's a lot of links there, like YouTube, Dtravel docs, whatever. Lots of links there. They've got a blog as well. There's a blog that they post on some occasionally. Community call. All right, guys. Oh, TRVL 0.04. Is that true? Have I? No, it's obviously not true. Zero. Oh, look, it's still going up. Amazing, huh? Little bit of impulsive move here, a little bit of impulse. Let's see if we can take out that high, all the way up to 4.4. If we can take that out, that'd be really amazing. But it's only for announcements. Huh? You're saying you're in that Telegram, it's only for announcements? Sure. There's two channels there. There's a general and an announcements channel. So I don't know. There's two channels there. See? I can't explain it. Preview. Yeah, it's weird, huh? It's weird. Maybe you have to do it through Telegram. You preview it. Doesn't, I don't know. Let me know if you're still having a problem tomorrow, because if you are, I'll ask, because I have no idea myself.
Yeah.
All right, let me just. I'm gonna take a screenshot of your messages. I'm gonna send it to Eric, and then see if they can figure it out. Okay, because I have no. I'll actually send it to my. I'm in another group with some of the Dtravel team. I'll send it to that. See if we can fix it. See if we can figure out what the problem is. So I'm just about to send it to them now. Hold on. Don't stay. All right, I've posted it now, so I'll wait back for some feedback, and then probably I'll give you an update tomorrow. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Let's hope that TRVL pumps to the moon. Look, we're up at 3.5 cents. This morning it was trading at 3.2, 3.3. So no impulsive move, already up 5%. Love it. Let's see if we can take it to higher prices. I really like this weekly candle setup, to be honest with you. Look, higher red wick on the weekly candle. I like that. And the other thing that I'm looking at on TRVL, which is quite interesting for me on the weekly time frame, is some kind of higher time frame SR flip going on here from all the way back to where the price first kind of found support here. You see that? Look, where the price first dropped here back in October 22. You see that red wick, that red candle? Yeah, you see that red candle? For some reason, that red wick has been controlling, or the price has been moving in and around that red wick ever since. That first candle that stopped. And you can see here, look, it's holding, resisting, holding, resisting, holding, holding. Yeah. So, and you don't really know that it's holding until you get the back test. So for me, this red candle is a back test. And then now we're just getting, usually the price goes down to pick up liquidity before it goes up. Here we're just getting a straight up market buy from that weekly red candle. So I do like this actually. I think potentially we are forming the lows here potentially. Touch wood. Look at that. That's the 786. A little bit found support in the 786 and the value area low. We had the bullish reaction, and now we had the first take profit, and now the price is moving up. So this is looking quite interesting. I think if we can get above the golden pocket and then attack 5.5, that's going to be a big area, 5.5, because it's also the value area high of this overall range. Yeah. So naturally, I don't expect the price to just walk through 5.5. I don't expect that. I think naturally the price should find resistance there, and we might get a pullback if the price finds its way up there, right? So let's see what happens. The other thing that'll be happening on the higher time frame is some kind of equilibrium. So just something to bear in mind. Yeah, while I've got in my mind a rising a rounding bottom, okay, just based on what I'm seeing now and the way the price is moving, it's also possible, if this is the significant low that we've put in now, it'd be nice if it is, then you could be forming some kind of higher time frame, something like that. You know, it's possible, just whatever, just some kind of equilibrium, and actually the real explosive move will be like that, wouldn't it? It'll be just low highs, high lows, low highs, high lows, and then actually what you'll effectively you'll end up doing is you're finally back testing this value area as support on a major trend line per se. Oh shit, what just happened? So it's another idea. Yeah, I don't know what idea is going to work. I mean, oh god, like my trading view's gone berserk. So again, it's just an idea. That's assuming that the low now is in. Doesn't really matter if, like, I mean, there'll be really good opportunities to buy. Now is a good opportunity, but obviously if it comes back, you know, I don't really want to be in the lows in Feb, to be honest with you. So actually what I'm thinking, I think it's possible. What I would love to see is just to hit the highs again. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Oh, David, you shorted, huh? 3-week high. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to go, but we can chat about... Oh, look at that, David. Look at that. Yeah. Right into the value area high. Look at that lower high. And, yeah, 3-week high. We talked about it, didn't we? That 3-week high. Even on the hourly time frame, look, you've got a really nice 3-week high, haven't you? It's like and you have a swing failure of the high and right down into the value area low. So you would have taken profit by now. And into VWAP. Yeah. Let's see if we lose the VWAP. That'd be nice, huh? Lose the VWAP, lose this value area, and trade it all the way down to here. That would be really nice, wouldn't it? All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me, and we'll chat tomorrow or later. If I see anything, I'll post it on Twitter. I'm not I'm in a Slerf long at the moment, which I took from last night. I've already taken profit twice, and I'm not in any other trades at the moment. Okay, I'll be looking for a long down here if it comes, and if it doesn't, I'm not too worried. And then other than that, I bought TRVL this morning, so that's the only other things I've done today. Right, so just kind of making people aware of what I've done, and people are interested. I'm not perfect, so I mean, obviously, we all do things differently. It doesn't really matter, as long as we all succeed. Right, that sounds good. All right, see you guys. Take care.